Hi students, welcome to Greater Chennai Corporation's YouTube channel. Hope you are all safe at home. Today we are going to learn Unit 2 poem The Grumble Family, written by Lucy Maud Montgomery. Let's know about the poetess. Lucy Maud Montgomery was a Canadian author best known for a series of novels beginning in 1908 with Anne of Green Gables. This is her first novel. The book was an immediate success. Anne Shirley, an orphaned girl, made Montgomery famous in her lifetime. A prolific writer, Montgomery went on to publish 20 novels as well as 530 short stories, 500 poems and 30 essays. Montgomery's works, diaries and letters have been read and studied by scholars and readers worldwide. Now let's look at the glossary. Acknowledge, which means accept or admit the truth. Amiss, not quite right. Discontent, dissatisfaction with one's circumstances. Growl, make a low guttural sound in the throat. Grumble, a complaint about something in a bad-tempered way. Gloomy, to appear depressing or frightening. Queerest, strangest or most unusual. Terrible, extremely bad or serious. Wandering, walking or moving in a leisurely or aimless way. Now let's go into the poem. The very title, The Grumble Family, suggests that the family grumbles. Let's read the poem. There is a family nobody likes to meet. They live, it is said, on Complaining Street, in the city of never are satisfied, the river of discontent beside. It's very clear that the family lives on a complaining street and nobody likes to meet. It is called as a complaining street because the people who live in this street always keep complaining, and they live in a city which is called as the never are satisfied, which is beside the river of discontent. So the words used by the poet are complaining, never are satisfied, discontent. All these things suggest that the family is very negative in character, that they always keep grumbling and nobody likes to meet them. Now look at the rhyming words. Meet, street, satisfied, beside. So these two, meet and street, rhyme with each other. Satisfied and beside rhyme with each other. The rhyme scheme is A, B, B. Now look at these pictures. The pictures will also help you to learn the poem better. The mother here keeps grumbling, the family is grumbling. Here are two children who keep growling and grumbling at each other, and here is also a person who keeps complaining. The next stanza, they growl at that, they growl at this. Whatever comes, there is something amiss. And whether their station be high or humble, they are all known by the name of grumble. Now see, this is the picture of growling. You know what is growling? Making a low guttural sound from the throat. So here the girl keeps growling here. They growl, the people of the grumble family keep growling at everything, keep grumbling at everything. They growl at that, they growl at this. So for everything, for that and this, they keep growling. Whatever comes, whether it is good or bad, but there is something amiss. They find fault with everything. They feel that there is something wrong, amiss. Amiss means there is something wrong in it, there is something missing in it, and they are never satisfied. And whether their station means status, their position, whether their status be high or humble, whether they are in a high position or in a humble position, they are all known by the name of grumble because they keep grumbling. See here a pic of grumbling and growling. Now look at the rhyme scheme and rhyming words. This, amiss, humble, grumble. This and a miss rhyme, humble and grumble rhyme. The rhyme scheme is A, B, B again. Now let's go into the third stanza. Here you see the pictures of summer, winter. Here it is a hot and here it is cold. The weather is always too hot or cold. Summer and winter alike they scold. Nothing goes right with the folks you meet down on the gloomy complaining street. Now here the poet says that whether the climate or the weather is either too hot for them or too cold. When it is too hot, they keep grumbling that it is very hot. When it is cold, they say that it is too cold. They are never satisfied. They are never happy. Summer and winter. When there is summer, they want winter. When there is winter, they urge for summer. Summer and winter alike. Alike means they do treat it same. They keep scolding. Whether it is hot or cold, summer or winter, they keep scolding. They are never happy. Nothing goes right. For them, nothing is right. Whether it is hot or cold, summer or winter, nothing is right for them. With the folks, folks means people you meet. Where do you meet such people? Down on the gloomy, complaining street. Gloomy means sad, sad, complaining street. Now look at the rhyming words and rhyme scheme. Cold, scold, meet, street. A, B, B. Is it clear? Now let's move on to the fourth stanza. Now look at the pictures. What are the pictures you see here? You see the rain in these two pictures and you see the sun here rising. They growl at the rain, they growl at the sun. In fact, their growling is never done. And if everything pleased them, there isn't a doubt they would growl that they had nothing to grumble about. That is, even if it rains, it is raining heavily, and if it is very hot, a sunny day, they say that it is very sultry, it is very hot day. So they growl at the rain, they growl at the sun. In fact, growling is never done. Never done means it's not completed. They do not stop growling or grumbling. It's a continuous process for them because they are never satisfied, they are never happy. Whether it is rain or sun, their growling is never completed. And if everything pleases them, suppose they are happy that it is cool or hot, they are satisfied, but still if everything pleased them, there isn't a doubt that they growl that they had nothing to grumble about. If everything is right with them, what do? They keep growling because they have nothing to grumble about, because they have no matter to talk about, to grumble about, to complain about. So their grumbling is a continuous process. So they growl at the rain and they growl at the sun. In fact, their growling is never done. And if everything pleased them, if they are happy with everything, if they are satisfied, there is no doubt that they would growl again. They would continue to growl and they had nothing to grumble about. There is no matter to growl. Now, sun, done, about, doubt and about are rhyming words. The rhyme scheme throughout the poem is A, B, B. The next fifth stanza, but the queerest thing is that not one of the same can be brought to acknowledge his family name. For never a grumbler will own that he is connected with it at all, you see. Here, queerest, we saw in the glossary, queerest is strangest thing. And here, but the strange thing is that not one person from the family will acknowledge. Acknowledge means will accept that they belong to that family, that they belong to the grumble family. They will not accept. Will anybody who is doing wrong accept that they have done wrong? No, never. They will not. So similarly here, the strangest thing is not one from the family will accept the truth that they belong to the grumble family. For never a grumbler. Who is a grumbler? The one who grumbles will own. Own means will accept, will take the name as a grumbler, that he is connected with it at all. You see that they are connected to that family. Nobody will acknowledge. Now look at the rhyming words. same, name, he, see. So same and name rhyme with each other, he and see rhyme with each other. These people are very strange. So the rhyme scheme again is A, A, B, B. We now move on to stanza 6. The worst thing is that if anyone stays among them too long, he will learn their ways. And before he dreams of the terrible jumble, he is adopted into the family of grumble. The worst thing is that if anybody stays with them for a longer time, he will learn their ways. Ways means habits. What are the habits of the grumble family? They are very negative, they complain, they grumble, they are never satisfied, they are discontent. And before that particular person knows that he is been in a terrible jumble. What is jumble? Just stuck a picture of jumble here. Before he knows that he's acquired all these negative qualities, and even if he wants to come out of it, he is adopted into the family of grumble. He is not able to come back. One rotten apple will spoil the entire barrel. Similarly, now look at the rhyming words: stays, ways, jumble, grumble. And the rhyme scheme is A, A, B, B. The next stanza we move on to stanza 7. And so it were wisest to keep our feet from wandering into complaining street, and never to growl whatever we do, lest we be mistaken for grumblers too. See, complaining, growling, and they are grumblers. So it were wisest. Wisest, we have to be very clever. We have to be wise enough to keep our feet, not to step into the complaining street. We should not wander there. We should keep our feet away from the complaining street, and never to growl. We should never acquire the habit of grumbling or growling. And whatever we do, whatever happens, whether it is good or bad, we have to learn to adjust in life, lest otherwise, to avoid, we will be mistaken for grumblers. In case you go into the complaining street, you just step your feet into the complaining street, you will be called a grumbler. So who is a grumbler? A grumbler is a person who grumbles. So here the rhyming words are feet, street, do, to. A, A, B, B. The next and the last stanza, the poetess advises us here: let us learn to walk with a smile and a song. Smile and a song. No matter if things do sometimes go wrong. And then be our station, high or humble, will never belong to the family of grumble. See the pictures here. Smiling, happy, song, and here being humble. And we should never belong to the family of grumble. The poetess advises us that we must learn to walk into the life with a smile and a song. Life is a mixture of happy and sad events. No matter if things do sometimes go wrong. Definitely in our life there will be situations where things will go wrong, and what should we do at that time? We must smile and sing a song, and then be our station. Our status in our life might also be sometimes high, sometimes humble, sometimes high, sometimes low. At any situation in life, we must learn to be happy but never grumble, and will never belong to the family of grumble. The poet says again, stresses on the fact that we should never belong to the family of grumble. That means we have to be happy. So here the rhyming words are song, wrong, humble, grumble. A, B, B. Hope you all understood the poem. Now here are the key points. This you can write it as a paragraph. This will be asked for 5 marks in question number 33 and 34 of your question paper. So a gist here, just to recap. This is a humorous poem about a grumble family. This grumble family always complains about silly matters. They lived in the street of complaining. In the city, the street is complaining street. The name of the city is never are satisfied, and their city is beside the river of discontent. They always find wrong in everything and everywhere they go. All of their comments are negative and critical, always. Their focus is only on the bad. Their focus is only on complaining, finding fault, what is wrong. So they are very negative. Their first instinct, their first habit is to find something to complain and murmur about people. They keep complaining about and murmuring about other people, gossip about other people. Thus, we should learn to walk with a smile. This is an advice. So, the poetess says that we should learn to walk with a smile and a song. So we have to be happy in all the situations. We should never be a complainer. Instead, you have to be grateful to God for blessing us with all the good things in life. Always we have to look for the better side of life. You have to be very optimistic in life, but always try our best to be an optimist who sees the good in everything. Now let's move on to question number 35, which covers figures of speech. Anaphora. What is an anaphora? Anaphora is a poetic technique in which successive phrases or lines begin with the same words. That is repetition of certain words. It's a technique used by the poet to stress on some point. Example from this particular poem is, they growl at that, they growl at this. So they growl at is repeated. They growl at the rain, they growl at the sun. So they growl at is repeated. So this is anaphora. Then next we move on to epithet. The most important figure of speech in this poem is epithet. Epithet is a descriptive literary device. It's an adjective used by the poet to describe a place, a thing or a person in such a way that it helps in making its characteristics more prominent than they actually are. So example is complaining street. The name of the street is not actually complaining street maybe, but it got its name because of the people who live in that particular street always keep complaining. So this is an example of epithet which got its name from the characteristics of the person who lived there. Similarly, the Grumble family. The family got its name as Grumble because the people in the family keep grumbling always. The next figure of speech we move on to is alliteration. This is a very easiest form of scoring marks. This is also asked in question number 35. Each question will carry 1 mark each and very easy to score. Alliteration is a repetition of consonant sounds. So, high, humble, ha sound, ha, h, high, humble. Here, they, that, the sound. They, that, they, this. G sound is repeated. Growl, grumble. Thing, that, they would. That is, in a line, in a single line, these consonant sounds are repeated. Be, brought, long, learn, walk, with, smile, song. The next figure of speech is rhyme scheme and rhyming words, which I have simultaneously done while teaching the poem. So, rhyme scheme is AABB and rhyming words are cold, scold, meet and street. Here, cold, scold, meet, street. The rhyme scheme is AABB. It has to be written in small letters like this, AABB. The next figure of speech is personification. What is personification? Personification is when you give human qualities and characteristics to an object, animal or idea. For example, the river of discontent. The people of Grumble family live beside the river of discontent. So, the river is personified here. That is, the river is named after a person's discontented nature. The next figure of speech is contrast. Contrast is here the opposites used. Contrast means the opposites used by the poet. Hot, cold, these are the opposites. Here summer and winter, high or humble. See, hot, cold, summer, winter, high, humble are examples of contrast. If in question number 35, you can write that. To identify the figure of speech, you can write this as contrast and you will be awarded 1 mark easily. The next, we move on to the textual questions. In your question paper, you will get these 1 mark questions from question number 19 to question number 22. These are very easy questions and mostly 2 lines will be given, and pertaining to those 2 lines, there will be 2 questions. There is a family nobody likes to meet. They live, it is said, on a complaining street. Where does the family live? The family lives in complaining street. Why do you think the street is named as complaining street? Because a family which is never satisfied lives there. You can even write the street is named as complaining street because the complaining family lived there. Next, question number 2. These are all textual questions. They growl at that, they growl at this, whatever comes, there is something amiss. What does the word growl mean here? The word growl means shouting or snarling at everything. Why do they find everything amiss? They find everything amiss or wrong because they are never satisfied with anything. They shout and complain about everything. Question number 3. Nothing goes right with the folks you meet down on that gloomy and complaining street. What is the opinion about the folks you meet down the street? Everything that is the opinion he is asking about the folks. Everything goes wrong with the folks you meet. Here you can just write everything goes wrong, then you can copy from the question itself. The folks you meet down the street. What does the word gloomy mean here? Gloomy means to appear depressing or frightening. Question number 4. The worst thing is that if anyone stays among them too long, he will learn their ways. What is the worst thing that can happen if anyone stays with them? I told you already, if anybody stays with them too long, they will acquire their habits. So, if anyone stays with them for a long time, he or she will learn their ways. Ways means habits. This is the worst that can happen to anyone. What are the ways of the Grumble family? The ways of the Grumble family are that they are never satisfied with anything and they are always complaining and they find fault in everything. Question number 5. And so it were wisest to keep our feet from wandering into complaining street. What is the wisest thing that the poet suggests? The poet suggests that the wisest thing is to keep our feet away from going into the complaining street. These questions, children, are very easy to answer because if you just read these 2 lines carefully, you can easily answer. The answer is hidden here. Only thing you need to understand the question very well. The second B question is, what does the phrase to keep our feet from wandering refer to? The phrase to keep our feet from wandering refers, because dusk comes, you have to write refers. You have to add yes here. Refers to avoid stepping into the complaining street. The next question number 6. Let us learn to walk with a smile and a song, no matter if things do sometimes go wrong. What does the poet expect everyone to learn? The poet expects all of us, everyone, to learn to live a happy life by smiling. See here, smile and song. So, you can write the poet expects, because does is here, you have to add one yes here. The poet expects everyone to live a happy life with a smile and a song, by smiling and singing all the time. What should we do when things go wrong sometimes? We should not bother ourselves if things go wrong sometimes. Now we move on to this question number 35, where they particularly ask only questions from figures of speech and whether their station be high or humble. Pick out the alliteration. I told you what is alliteration is the repetition of consonant letters. High and humble. In this particular line, H H is repeated. So high and humble you can write are the words in alliteration, and you can underline the consonant sound alone. H and H you can underline to highlight it. Pick out the other examples of alliteration from the poem. They, that, they, this. These are the examples which we have already seen in the poem while teaching the poem. Growl, grumble, thing, that, etc. Be, brought, smile, song are other examples of alliteration. The next question is, the weather. They have given these 4 lines. The weather is always too hot or cold. Summer and winter alike they scold. So what are the questions? Pick out the rhyming words. It is very easy because so many times in the poem I have told you what are the rhyming words and rhyme scheme. Cold and scold, meet and street. Words that rhyme, that have the same sound. The rhyming words are cold, scold, cold, scold, meet, street, meet, street. So you can write the rhyme scheme is, they have asked 2 questions in this. One is rhyming words and the other is rhyme scheme. So the rhyming words are these and the rhyme scheme is A, B, B. The next question, that is question number 36, is paraphrase. I will give you the tips to write paraphrase. 5 marks will be awarded for this question, and it is very easy to score these 5 marks, children. Just learn this script. You can write for any poem that is asked, any 4 lines or 5 lines that is asked, you can follow this same pattern. These lines are taken from the poem. You can write whatever line is asked. Here you have to write these particular lines are taken from the poem The Grumble Family, written by Lucy Maud Montgomery. Then write about the main idea of the given poetry lines. What is the particular lines? The weather is hot or cold. So you will just write the gist of those 4 lines, the main idea of the lines. Then you can write, the poet has used various poetic devices to add to the, you can by heart this. This is a technique you can use to score 5 marks. This is the, you just have to fill the name of the poem, name of the poet. Then you have to write about the gist of the lines given. Then you can write this line as various poetic devices and the poet has used to add to the beauty of the poem. The poet has followed a perfect rhyming scheme, and in this poem the rhyme scheme is what? Very good. A, B, B. Excellent. The rhyming words in whatever stanza is given, you can write. See, I have also written an example for this paraphrase. Suppose these 4 lines are given. The weather is always too hot or cold. If these lines are given, as I told you, you have to write like this. These lines are taken from the poem The Grumble Family, written by Lucy Maud Montgomery. In the first 2 lines, here the poet says the weather, very easy, you can just write it, you have to simplify it, that is all. The poet says that the weather is hot or cold, the climate is summer or winter, the Grumble family members will not fail to grumble. In the 3rd and 4th line here, this is the 3rd and 4th line, the poetess says that in the gloomy complaining street, see here, gloomy complaining street, everything goes wrong and nothing is right there. The poet has used various poetic devices to add beauty to the poem. You can write this, you will get marks. You can also add little more details. The poet has followed a perfect rhyming scheme in this poem. The rhyming scheme, you know very well, is A, B, B. The rhyming words in this particular stanza are cold and scold, meet and street. This stanza clearly explains the main. You can, from this to this, you can write for all the poems, all the stanzas that are asked for question number 36. This stanza clearly explains the main idea of the poem. The moral of the poem is good contrast. Here see, I told you, contrast, the opposite words used by the poet, hot, cold, summer, winter. So contrast is the figure of speech employed in this stanza. Students, I hope you all understood the poem. If you have any doubts, you can go back to the video again, go through the entire poem again and learn all the necessary answers, figures of speech, anything that you need to learn again or revise again. And the greatest lesson that you learned from this particular poem, we have to be very positive, we have to be happy, never complain, never grumble, we have to be very grateful for all that God has blessed us. Stay positive, spread happiness, keep smiling and always be cheerful. Now coming to the assignment part for you, go to your textbook and take page number 47 and 48 and work out exercise A, B and C. Almost everything is covered. All the textual answers have been covered here. Please go through them. Bye-bye. See you in the next class.